Thank you. Appreciate it. Nice of you. Thank you very much.
Of course, yes, sir.
Does this thing work okay? Can you hear me back there? I don't know if this is working or not. We're good? All right. Let's see a quick show of hands. How many folks here are doing TBI cases or hopefully want to be doing them? Sorry, that light's right in my eyes. Keep them up real quick. I just want to get an idea, because if we don't have a lot of folks, I'll change the topic. But all right, you're here to see TBI. Number one principle when doing TBI cases is going to shock you maybe a little bit. In fact, you might not even believe me. How many of you who raised your hands also do what I call sore neck cases? Or maybe do slip and fall cases? So you're PI lawyers, fair? All right. That's the worst thing you can do, is by using that experience when working up a TBI case. I told you we weren't gonna like it. Now, don't be feeling like, wait a minute, are you saying to me that all my experience means nothing and then therefore I gotta start all over and I don't know what the hell I'm doing? No, I am not saying that. What I'm saying is that TBI is different. It requires a different focal point or viewpoint, and you have to have a different understanding of the story. You probably thought I was gonna say, you gotta learn the science. Yeah, then there's that. Yes, you gotta learn the medicine. That goes without saying though, and there's a lot to it. And the real problem is they don't know much about the brain. Yeah, that's right. Compared to everything the brain can do, these doctors don't know a whole lot about it. Yet you're the one who's now got to teach it to the jury, who knows even less than they do. And less than you do, because at least you know what TBI stands for, or hopefully you do, okay? So this is really critically important to understanding how to get the full value, or what I like to say is, who here would like to get more than the case is worth? Somebody give me an idea in your jurisdiction what you have been told by the evil insurance industry. What have you been told that a mild TBI is worth in your jurisdiction? Zero, absolutely, or less than. Pay us. Who else? Nobody else. One person with zero. Usually where I go, even where they call the honey pot, where supposedly it's a land of milk and honey for jurors, they're worth somewhere between 250, maybe all the way up to $1.2 million. And that's if it happened to Mother Teresa and she got run over by both Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates was sitting in the back seat, and she just won the lottery for $2 billion, and she's on her way to cash a ticket, and she bled all over the ticket because she got a severe brain injury that caused her to have a brain bleed, and then it melted the ticket away. So even then, it's not worth that much more than that. And I'm here to tell you that they are lying to you. You want to know why they're lying to you besides the obvious reasons? Because a TBI is the one area, a traumatic brain injury is the one place in your body where most jurors, most of them, can absolutely get that they don't want to get their brain injured. And herein lies the entire secret. Yes, you have got to understand how to work the case up, which means you have got to find credible, there's a key word, credible doctors who understand how to diagnose the specifics of the brain injury. Let me say that again, the specifics of the brain injury. That is not going to be a neurologist. Nope, sorry. And I'm sure if I sat in a panel with them, which I do a lot for TBI Med Legal and do a lot of the education. I know all the doctors. I'm sorry, That's not good enough. You have got to have people who specialize in the five senses, because it's not about the TBI that matters, it's how it shows up on a daily basis. What are the areas that it shows up that you have to become an expert in being able to detect through your very detailed interview of the client, so that you can learn from the list what things to ask about, because you will do a more thorough job than anybody in the ER was ever trained to, believe it or not, because they're not. That's not ER medicine. You're going to have to do a better job than the treating neurologist will. Why? Because they got 5 minutes, get the hell in, get the hell out. Insurance company is only paying me for a small visit, and you're here because maybe your foot's sore from some other reason. I don't really care anyway. They're not going to ask these questions. They come from a detailed list of folks who have put together how these things show up. Who here would like to have that list right now? Wouldn't that be nice? Wait a minute, Mr. Lowe, God damn it. I came here to get a trick, shortcut. I came here to have you just give me something. I just want to take something and feel like I got something better. You absolutely are right to feel that way. There's some more bad news. There are no tricks that work on a consistent basis. There's no shortcuts. People who are looking for shortcuts are taking the longest road possible. And I guarantee you, only thing they'll end up short is your result. This list is something that I have compiled myself personally. I would like to be able to share and describe it with each of you. If I just put it up on the board, you'll write it down or you'll take a picture of it, and that's fine, but you won't absorb it. It's not about the list. And yes, I will give it to you. I don't do PowerPoint. But what I want you to take away from this is the commitment to serve somebody. I want you to have the commitment to learn more than the other people out there who are doing these cases. Why? Because it's up to you. There is nobody else to help these people. Nobody cares enough. But you're here right now, so apparently you care about something bigger than yourselves. You care about somebody who needs you more than maybe your family does right now, or your business, or your associates. God damn it, that's beautiful. So let's talk about not a list, but let's feel about what it is we need to understand so that we can figure out how to help people that nobody can see. They call these injuries the walking, silent, dead injuries. Dead parts of the brain that cannot be seen unless you have a specialized machine called a 3.0 or even a 7.0 Tesla MRI, which very few MRI centers have because it's so expensive. You have to learn where they're at. You have to learn who knows how to run them. You have to learn who has the most experience with them. You have to learn the different types of MRIs that are necessary to detect how this is showing up. And already you may be saying, God damn it, I can't learn all this. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. In the interview, your client, and you're sitting there and you should be asking questions that sound like this. Since you were hit by that truck and your head snapped forward and back, which you probably don't even remember, but I did the homework to figure out the delta V because I've had to do that on a lot of other cases before. And I understand that lets me know the force that was involved. And what they may not have told you in the ER is that when your brain, which is primarily made of fat, is moving inside of your skull, it's not designed to smash into the front of your skull or the back. It's not supposed to do that. Now you may say, wait a minute, evolution gave me this brain. Clearly it's made me moved and jostled a little bit. I understand. But Evolution didn't anticipate that you would accelerate in your technology so quickly that you could make machines that you could climb inside of and accelerate yourself so quickly and then come to a stop so fast that your brain then hits the front of your skull and then goes and hits the back again. Evolution hasn't caught up to you yet or to technology yet. That's how it happened. Oh, and by the way, you'll never know this until it's too late, of course, that inside your brain right now, if we could pick the brain up and move it and look down on the bottom of the skull, there are these little pieces of your skull that's hardened bone that was designed to protect it, but that look like stalagmites. You remember stalagmites from elementary school biology. Stalactites are the ones that hang from the top. Mites are the ones that point up from the bottom. Well, your skull has those. You can look at them like kind of like little cheese graters. And if the brain stays where it's supposed to and you do all the things that you like to do, run, jog, and so all those things are fine, they never show up and contribute in any way. It's just what they were designed to do. But if you now accelerate your brain really fast and stop it, and it goes backwards, that brain goes right over that cheese grater. Now, will that cause problems? You bet. You see, there's certain parts of the brain that are localized in that area that have nerves that communicate to the rest of your body. That's what nerves do. Nerves are nothing more than members of the community holding hands that tell the brain, guess what? My finger's on fire. God damn it, do something. And these nerves and these nerve cells and this brain is so incredibly built and so fast, they can actually interpret it, tell the brain comes up with an idea, sends a plan back to the finger and move it before any of the flesh actually gets damaged. Man, that's a beautiful, beautiful contraption. So, one of the questions I'd like to ask you now that you're sitting there in my chair, in my office, is have you felt in the last 6 months since you've had this accident lethargic? That means kind of sleepy all the time. You don't have the energy you'd like to have. Your mood gets affected. It's just difficult to get excited about anything anymore. The joy that you used to get out of simple pleasures are now just kind of like, tasteless vanilla ice cream that's warm. It's just not very exciting. Are you having trouble getting to sleep? Are you having trouble staying asleep? Do you have anxiety at night about going to sleep? Anxiety. Let me see if I can say a little bit about that. Do you get anxious? Like you drank too much coffee, but you don't have a thought in your brain. Yeah, well, you've probably been anxious about wondering if the email that you sent on the job you're doing that you needed an answer for was received. That's a fear that's based on a real fact that you're anticipating. No, I don't mean that. I mean, do you have the kind of anxiety where you're just anxious, but you can't figure out why? Headaches. You've had headaches before, but do they come frequently now? Like you probably have had a headache once, twice a year maybe. Do they come several times a week now? What about memory issues? You know, the kind where you sit your phone down and you usually set it down in the same place all the time within your house. I don't mean somewhere else. All of a sudden, the last 6 months, for some reason, you're losing your cell phone, not once a week where you find it several minutes later, maybe not twice a month where you find it again minutes later. You're losing it 2 or 3 times a day. And yeah, you find it, but you just have to spend a lot of energy trying to remember where you can't even think about anything else. And you have to focus on that only. You have to stop everything you're doing just so you can try and retrace your steps and say things to yourself like, where was the last place I saw it? And then you struggle with it. And then as you just kind of move around, all of a sudden, ding, 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 the memory finally comes. Do you have word finding issues? You know, the kind where you used to just be able to stand up and talk, going ba-da-da, 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 ba-da, and you weren't even thinking about what you were going to say. You ever notice how most of the time you have a conversation with somebody, you're not thinking about what you're going to say? I mean, you have an idea, but then it expresses itself. But now, while you're trying to have those simple conversations, the word just doesn't download. And it's a word you know. It's not even some word you heard once, but you're trying to remember how to say it. It just doesn't show up. I don't mean once a month. I'm talking about 2 or 3 times a day, every day or more. Is your balance a little off? You've probably heard, you've probably seen old folks, grandparents, when they start to walk, they walk a little slower and they're a little more deliberate. You maybe notice that when they get to the railing, boy, they're looking for that thing now. Before you should run down, think, no, that's the first thing they're reaching for. Now, I'm not saying you're like that, but you've seen how older folks can struggle with balance. Anybody ever wonder why that is? Client, you ever wonder why that is? Well, as you get older, your brain shrinks. It's called atrophy. And as it shrinks, it loses its ability to process. One of the things that your body processes with the help of your brain is balance. Now, yes, and very important, you may have heard that there are 5 senses, right? Wrong. There are more than 5 senses. That's only how high the first person who thought about brain injury could count, apparently, at the time. One of the senses is your body sensory, which is balance and also your ability to understand your own body orientation. Which is why when the cops pull you over after leaving a lawyer function where you decided to take on the insurance defense lawyer in a drinking contest just to punk his ass out, because I'm good with that, and you out drink him, cops stop you on the way home and they want you to take a balance test. And guess one of the things they do is have you do a body orientation test, which is what? Close your eyes and touch your nose. How do you know to do that? You think it's because you're staring at it and your eyes are telling your finger where to go? No, that's another sense that you may not have been aware of, but that's the 7th sense. Ask them if they've noticed just sometimes when they're walking, it's just like they miss something, they don't feel it. That's another issue. Why? Give you an idea where and how. These are things that have to do with the temporal lobe and the parietal lobe. Those are the side. You'll have to learn these names later if you understand what the experts like to talk about above your head. But it doesn't really matter so much as ask your clients about their senses. A huge one, and this is one that I definitely go for as much as I can, that makes a huge difference in your results. It's your sense of smell. It is one that is often affected in traumatic brain injuries, especially if you have any kind of fracture anywhere in the face. Why? Because of the nerves that run through the nasal area and how soft or brittle those bones are, thin. When they break and they fill up with blood, they will damage the nerve that deals with sense of smell. And you may think, oh, big deal, so I lose my sense of smell. Wrong. Get some of the world's leading authorities and pass those names on to you as to what it means if you lose your sense of smell. It's a gift given to you by evolution that helps protect you, that helps you understand your environment. It's a sensory that tells you, danger, there's smoke, which means there's fire. Grab your kids and run like hell. Danger, there's gas. We put sulfur in it. You want to know that, because if you don't, you inhale it and you asphyxiate and you die. Run like hell. But that's not actually what gets the value, if you will, in my opinion. To me, it's something different. It's the holiday. It's Christmas. about 10 days before. You had some time off. You're getting to go home and spend it with your family, your loved ones. What you love most about the holiday, it's the traditions. It's your family traditions. It's recreating those things that you grew up on when you were a kid. You remember that? For me, it was growing up and smelling my grandma's apple pie. I'll never forget the time that she would take, hand roll out the crust. She liked to make everything from scratch. She actually grew everything. Didn't grow the wheat, but everything else. And then once she rolled it out, and she twisted it and put it on the pie, and coated it with the egg coating. You know, the egg that you stir up real quick. Put it on top because it helps it brown better. Slide it in that old electric oven, kind of rickety. The door didn't work so good. Love that oven though because it didn't seal properly. And so in her kitchen, the smell of whatever she was making would fill the room. There was something magical about the way that she could mix the brown sugar, the dark brown sugar. She used the light stuff. She put a little molasses in her pie filling as well. A lot of butter. She was from the South, so a lot of butter. Cinnamon that she would hand grind from the sticks, not the kind you get that's already done. You just kind of shake. She thought that was for lazy people. She called them lazy white trash. So I can say that I'm from there, so I've earned that right. Lazy white trash. Now you gotta ground it up yourself. Allspice, nutmeg. She used 4 kinds of apples, some sweet, some tart. But when those all got together and started to bake, and you see the bubble coming out of the twisted lattice of the crust on the top, you knew it was Christmas. But what would probably make me feel the worst is if I had the choice to pass that on to my children, which I do, but I denied them the experience of ever getting to smell it cook and the way it would fill the house and the way it would make you feel when you smelled it. Because I would send it out and I'd have some person make it at their house for me and just deliver it because I like servants and it's easier that way and I just want it finished. I want you to think of everything you can from your past that when you smell it, it takes you right back there again like it's a time machine because that's exactly what it is. And it's a gift that your grandma or your loved one gave you. And then I want you to think about if somebody driving a truck who didn't want to take the extra 30 seconds that would have to do the right thing, check the mirror, make sure it's safe, pay attention, stay off their phone. And because of the decisions they intentionally made that day to do what they wanted to do, as opposed to what they promised to do, which was to be careful and take care of you, because you're out there also, and your kids and your family members. They decided they just wanted to do what they wanted to do, and because of their decisions, they took that from your kids without their permission. And they have now taken from them their ability to know what it feels like to pass on a family tradition that's worth more than anything you can put under that tree for every year you do it. Does that feel true to you? Can you feel that? This is what your cases are worth, because this is what your clients are worth, because this is what their experiences were worth. And this is what people take when they don't care enough to pay attention, and they take it without their permission. This is why I need you to spend the time when everybody else is competing for your attention, to sit and ask the questions, because you're going to find that most of the time they'll say, you're right, I didn't even know it. And you're going to find that the ER people never asked them. The follow-up care never asked them. But you did. How much time do I have? Am I done? I'm finished with this. Sorry. I was telling you about the other symptoms and the head going and the brain going back and forth. That actually damages the pituitary gland in the base of your brain, that then causes it to shut down, which regulates your HGH, your human growth hormone, which is your regulatory hormone for your entire body. I won't go into the list of all the things it does. Have a simple blood test done, and now you've just hit 9 figures. These little pieces mean everything. Have the balance tested. Have the smell tested. Absolutely have a neuro-optometrist, preferably, or if not, neuro-ophthalmologist test their vision. You will find out that they have fuzzy vision, and many of them now will see words upside down. And you can show the jury what that looks like, and it's nauseating and actually gives you almost a sensation of seasickness. These are the things you have to look for. You have to find credible experts. There are places that can help you with that. They're going to shoot me. I got to get off the stage. I appreciate your time and your willingness to listen. Please go out and continue to help those people who are desperate for your love. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Sarcastic.
Thank you, sir.
Sarcastic.